Good afternoon and welcome to TVM News. Today is Friday, October 29th. Happy Halloween, everyone. I'm Agatha Harkness.
And I'm Sandy Olson. Spooky season is officially upon us, and today we will tell you about a presentation given by Milwaukee Bucks CFO Patrick McDonough.
We also have news about a priest facing sex charges.
And we'll check in with TVM sports anchors Soren Swanson and Nevico Molinaro to find out the latest in Marywood and professional sports.
A professor of psychology at Penn State Harrisburg will be returning to a popular lecture at Marywood. Dr. Marissa Harrelson will be presenting her research titled Serial Killers and Why We Are So Fascinated by Them. The presentation will take place on Friday, November 5th at 6 p.m. in the Swartz Center, Room A. Harrison will be using her research and expertise to discuss the motives, makings, and means of female serial killers. The event is sponsored by the Marywood Psychology and Counseling Department.
Scranton Mayor Paige Cognetti spoke to Marywood's Master of Social Work and Administration Leadership class. Cognetti gave a presentation on leadership and shared her own personal story. She concluded it with a question and answer session for students.
A Pittsburgh-based data company has ranked Marywood in the top 10 of best dorms in the state. Niche compiles data nationwide, including information on schools. Out of a nationwide ranking, Pennsylvania had 10 schools in the top 152. Marywood-University ranked 6th statewide and 110th nationwide for dorm quality.
Marywood's Wind Symphony and Ensemble will be giving a concert on Sunday, November 14th at 4 p.m. They will present the world premiere of composer John Burns' work, Fairest Morning. The concert will be conducted by Patrick J. Burns, and the event is free and open to the public.
On Monday, the Marywood Art Department welcomed guest speaker Elijah Bertle. Bertle is an artist at Electric City Tattoo in Scranton. He spoke to students about his career in the world of tattoo art and the lesser-discussed details of an artist's life, such as balancing the work, finances, and a personal life.
This Wednesday, Marywood hosted a discussion with Patrick McDonough. McDonough is the CFO of the Milwaukee Bucks. The event occurred in the Swartz Center for Spiritual Life, where McDonough discussed his life story and how he became the CFO of an NBA team. When we come back, we'll tell you about an ice skating rink that is officially open to the public.
I am what hunger looks like in America. I am an 8-year-old girl who's not excited for the last day of school. Because this may be the last time I'll have lunch. Till September. I am a single father of 2 who works 3 part-time jobs, and that's still not enough to put food on the table. I was created by artificial intelligence from faces of the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger.
Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies. Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Greg, come on man, let's put a ride home.
One person is pronounced dead after a fight in Wilkes-Barre. Police say they were called to the scene of a fight around 1:30 a.m. Sunday morning on Academy Street. They found one person with a gunshot wound, and that person was transported to the hospital, where they later died. Police have not named the victim and say the investigation is still ongoing.
The Sunbury skating rink is officially open to the public. The rink, which was built in 1960, was recently renovated to be an indoor rink instead of an outdoor rink like it originally was. The rink is one of the very few indoor ice rinks in the area. It is open during the week for hockey leagues and for free skate on weekends from now until March.
A teenager's cause of death has been revealed in Susquehanna County. The coroner said that 17-year-old Jeremy Clark died from multiple traumatic injuries after being run over by a car. Police say Clark was laying in the road when he was struck. An investigation into his death is still ongoing.
State troopers are investigating a car crash caused by a car going the wrong way. The accident happened around 2 a.m. on Friday on Interstate 81 near the exit for the Viewmont Mall in Dixon City. A car was going the wrong way and crashed head-on with a food services truck. The driver of the car was declared dead at the scene.
A priest in Monroe County is facing sex charges. Pastor Gregory Lofney was arrested Friday, October 22nd on 4 counts of criminal attempt of statutory sexual assault and corruption of minors. Churchgoers at the Most Holy Trinity Parish, where Lofney served, were shocked by the charges. The Diocese of Scranton immediately suspended Lofney from active ministry, pending an investigation, and he may be removed from the diocese entirely.
Police are investigating a death in Schuylkill County. 27-year-old Joseph Fedorak of Pottsville was found dead in a wooded area in Minersville after an altercation with another person. Fedorak was shot, but there is currently no suspect.
A home in Columbia County collapsed over the weekend, sending 3 people to the hospital. Officials were called to the home along Winding Creek Road on Saturday night after the collapse. There is no word on the condition of those sent to the hospital or on what caused the collapse. Although there was not a fire, State Fire Marshal is investigating.
Wyoming Valley West had to ramp up security at their high school football games due to the number of fights that have broken out. Starting October 22nd, new rules were instilled in order to attend football games. Students now have to pre-buy football game tickets, and any student 8th grade or younger has to be accompanied by an adult to the game. Everyone entering the stadium must walk through a metal detector, in addition to no backpacks being allowed inside. Friday was the first home game held in the middle of the day, with hopes of deterring violence if the games occurred in daylight.
Myth. If you get COVID-19, you'll recover after a few days. That myth is false. We're only just beginning to understand the effects of COVID-19 on the human body, as we're starting to see more and more people identifying as long haulers who are having symptoms for weeks, if not months, after their initial infection. Continue to wear a mask, socially distance, and wash your hands. Together, we can keep COVID out of school.
For ways to keep your community safe, go to backtoschooltogether.com.
Hey Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry, I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Hey, let's check out this park. Oh, wow, that's really cool. To find a great local park or forest near you, go to discovertheforest.org.
I don't think we're free in this country. For 100 years, you saw Black people menaced and targeted and lynched and beaten and brutalized. I think we're burdened by this history. More people have to be willing to do that uncomfortable, inconvenient thing that justice requires for things to get better.
Truth can inspire change. Learn more at EJI.
An Indiana representative has been suspended on Twitter after misgendering a transgender government official. Representative Jim Banks, a Republican, was suspended from the social media platform after posting on his official account about Health and Human Services Assistant Secretary Dr. Rachel Levine. Levine previously served as Secretary for Pennsylvania Department of Health, and she is the first openly transgender person to be appointed to a government office through Congress.
The investigation into the film set shooting that killed cinematographer Halyana Hutchins and injured director Joel Souza is underway. So far, all we know is that actor Alec Baldwin fired the gun that he was told was safe. The shooting happened a few hours after several crew members walked off the set in protest of the safety conditions. The prop gun had been misfired before this incident. No formal charges have yet been placed.
3 abandoned children and skeletal remains were found in an apartment in Texas. Police say the children, ages 15, 10, and 7, were found during a welfare check. The remains could be those of a child, possibly of a sibling or of the other children. More details were not immediately available, but the chief of police called the situation heartbreaking.
Broadway's longest-running show has reopened. Phantom of the Opera has been playing on Broadway for over 35 years, and after being closed for 18 months due to the pandemic, the iconic show, known for its organ music and chandelier, celebrated its reopening on October 22nd with a countdown chandelier drop in Times Square and an after-party DJ'd by none other than the show's 73-year-old composer, Andrew Lloyd Webber.
A Florida man is accused of killing his neighbor over a cat entering his property. Police say 58-year-old Clifton Anthony Bliss Jr. shot his neighbor, 41-year-old James Arland Taylor Jr., after Taylor's cat ran onto Bliss's property. Bliss has been charged with second-degree murder and was held without bond in the Marion County Jail. Neighbors say that Bliss had anger issues and had threatened others over pets before.
Students at Howard-University have set up a tent city on their campus as a protest against what they call the, quote, poor and unlivable conditions in the dorms. According to the students, the dorms have mold, insect, and rodent problems, as well as leaking ceilings and a flooding problem. The students living in the tents have taken over the hub and the cafeteria at the center of campus and are not allowing any administrators in until their problems are resolved.
A Colorado daycare owner who hid 26 kids in her basement has been sentenced to prison. Carla Faith was sentenced to 6 years in prison for more than 24 misdemeanor child abuse charges. Faith was licensed to oversee 6 children and no more than 2 under the age of 2. However, she held 26 children in her basement, 12 of those children believed to be under the age of 2. Police say Faith lied to them, saying there were no children in the house and there was no basement. Police removed a false wall to enter the basement where they found the children who were neglected under Faith's care. One of the adult employees for Faith accepted a plea deal earlier this year.
President Biden met with Pope Francis at the Vatican this morning. The two leaders discussed church teachings and social issues. This meeting is stirring a lot of controversy from Catholic bishops across the United States as they feel that the president's Catholic faith should not be celebrated due to his stance on LGBTQ+ rights and abortion. When we come back, we'll check in with TVM sports anchors Nevica Molinaro and Soren Svensson for the latest in Marywood and professional sports.
COVID-19 has changed how we express our faith and gather to worship. Now it's time to take the first step that lets us get back to spreading the word without spreading concern. Before we can safely come together, we need the facts. As COVID-19 vaccines become available, you may have questions.
Should I get it?
Is it safe?
Should I wait?
It's smart to question. Now, get the facts at getvaccineanswers.org so you can make an informed decision when vaccines are available to you.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight, both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand trying to text somebody back, because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The Marywood women's soccer team finished their regular season this past Wednesday, October 27th, with an astonishing 8-game win streak. This led Marywood to be the top seed in the Atlantic East Conference going into the playoffs next week. The Pacers will have their first playoff game Wednesday, November 3rd at 7 p.m. It is unclear who the Pacers will take on at this time. Marywood's men's soccer team is also entering the playoffs this week. The boys concluded their regular season on the 27th with an 0-3 loss against Newman University. The Pacers will be fighting for a spot in the semifinals when they take on Newman University once again in the first round of the playoffs this Saturday, October 30th. Marywood women's tennis team competed in their final match of the fall season on October 9th. The Pacers went up against Penn College to take on a shutout 9-0 victory. The Pacers will resume for their spring season on April 3rd when they go up against Immaculata University. Marywood's field hockey team has officially closed off their regular season as they enter into the playoffs this upcoming week. On October 27th, the Pacers went up against Newman University and took home a 5-0 victory. This victory ranked the girls 4th to start the Atlantic East Conference playoff. On Saturday, October 30th at 1 p.m., the Pacers will go up against number 5 Immaculata University in the first round of the playoffs. That's all for Marywood Sports. Let's check in with Soren Sonson for the latest in professional sports. Soren, what's going on?
Well, Nevica, the NFL had an exciting week. Here are the results from the Week 7's NFL games. The first matchup was between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Tennessee Titans. The Titans surprisingly blew away the Chiefs' 27-3 victory. The Chiefs now hold in third place in the AFC West with a record of 3-4. The featured matchup from Sunday was between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders were able to pull away with the victory with the score of 33-22. Here are some NFL matchups to look forward to this Sunday as we approach Week 8 of the NFL season. The first game is between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cleveland Browns. The game will be played in Cleveland at 1 p.m. and you can also watch it on CBS. The next game is between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Detroit Lions. The game is being played in Detroit and will be also on 1 o'clock on Fox. Finally, the featured game of the week is between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the New Orleans Saints. This game is at 4:25 in the Superdome and can be also watched on Fox. The MLB playoff season is down to this final stretch as two teams face off in the World Series. The Atlanta Braves and the Houston Astros are currently tied 1-1. The Braves took home the first game with a score of 6-2 on Tuesday, October 26, but the victory was not as long as the Astros answered on Wednesday, October 27th, by winning with a score of 7-2. Game 3 of the World Series takes place today at 8:09 p.m. You can also watch it on ESPN2 or Fox. Here are some results from the NBA games from last weekend. To start off, the Phoenix Suns squared off against the Portland Trail Blazers. They won the game with the score of 134-105. The featured game of the week was between the Philadelphia 76ers, who squared off against the Oklahoma City Thunder. The 76ers won the game with a score of 115-103. This weekend, you can look forward to these matchups. The Philadelphia 76ers will take on the Atlanta Hawks at 7:30 at the Wells Fargo Center on Saturday, and the game can be streamed on NBA TV. The featured game of the week is between the Utah Jazz and the defending NBA champions, Milwaukee Bucks. The game will take place in Milwaukee at 7 p.m. on Sunday and can be also streamed on NBA TV. Here are some of the results from the college football games from last weekend. To start, on Saturday, Virginia Tech squared off against Syracuse. Virginia Tech sadly lost to Syracuse with the score of 41-36. The next game is between the newly ranked number 25 Purdue as they squared off against Wisconsin. Wisconsin was able to pull away with the victory with a score of 30-13. Finally, the featured game of the week was number 18 North Carolina State against Miami. Miami was able to pull up the upset with winning 31-30. Now here are the featured games for this Saturday. Number 6 Michigan will take on their arch rival Michigan State at 12 p.m. on Fox. Next game is between number 10 Ole Miss and number 12 Auburn on 7 p.m. on ESPN. Finally, the featured game of the week is between number 20 Penn State as they square off against number 5 Ohio State at 7:30 on ESPN. NASCAR had a race in Kansas last Sunday, and Kyle Larson took home first. The next race for NASCAR will be in Martinsville, and the defending champion is Chase Elliott. The race starts this Sunday on NBC at 2 p.m. That is all for sports. Back to the desk.
Seattle police have shut down a Lego trafficking scheme. 67-year-old shop owner Mark Stephen Brady was charged with 1 count of trafficking stolen property after police found him selling over $2,000 worth of stolen Lego sets. The project was nicknamed Operation Mandel Organized Retail Theft since most of the stolen sets were based off of the Disney Plus Star Wars show The Mandalorian. That is not the way.
That is not the way. The Force will not be with him.
No, ma'am. Baby Yoda would not approve.
Absolutely not.
That's going to do it for us at this week's edition of TVM News. From everyone at TV-Marywood, thanks for tuning in.
Be sure to follow TV-Marywood's YouTube page and like the TVM Facebook page to stay up to date on the latest happenings and to watch additional content. I'm Emma Rushworth.
And I'm Ellen Franz. Have a great weekend, Marywood, and happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.